Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you guys here, and I know that the internet is having a little bit of an issue, so I'm hoping it's cleared up now. Hopefully, we won't have this issue anymore. But what we have here is we're going to do an interview with the young lady who is actually associated with the story that we just talked about last night. So the way that this works is we talked about the aunt who was the aunt of the two children who were actually found in the trunk in Baltimore, Maryland. These children were given to her by her sister, who is her slightly older sister. She's slightly older than her. And one of those children, the father of those children, this is the mother and father to that man who is the father to one of those babies. I hope I said that right.
Correct. Yes.
That is a lot. That is a mouthful. But I'd like to not only thank y'all so much for your time and thank you for reaching out, but you want to kind of start us out, give us your names and kind of let us know where your stance is on this particular issue.
My name is LaQuaida. I'm Lil Larry's grandmother, and this is his grandfather, Larry Senior. Dayshell's son is Larry Darnell O'Neal III. Our son is Larry Darnell O'Neal Jr., the father of Lil Larry.
Okay, and then I gotta say, y'all looking good. I really appreciate not only seeing, you know, a couple, a mother and a father together. Y'all know how rare that is to see that in 2021 now.
It takes work. It takes work. It takes work.
Yeah, but I just wanted to commend y'all for that, and also to let you know, I just want y'all to speak from the heart. I don't want y'all to hold back anything, so don't worry about, you know, if you need to curse. I just want y'all to be able to express yourself, because I know this is a situation that's very hard. Y'all have been through so much over these babies, short amount of time. Where would you like to start? Like what made you reach out to us?
First, I want to tell you thank you, because since this all has started, from the time the car was pulled over until they found out that Dayshell was the mother, till presently right now, no one has contacted us. The family, not Lil Larry's father, no one on Lil Larry's side of the family has been contacted. Yet. And I appreciate you saying we looking good, because it took for us to get here, but I know I had to do this for Lil Larry.
Right.
I had to pull it together for him. I just want everybody to know, my intentions are not to bash Dayshell. I want to tell the truth about what I know.
Okay, if you would, let's start there, because I know we didn't get a chance to talk about her that much, because the story was actually focused on the individual that's just above my head. So let's talk about this. Who is Dayshell? Who is that?
Who is Dayshell? It's just the mother of my son's child. That she can come across like really soft spoken and kind of timid. She really was not really active. Like, I couldn't tell you a hobby of hers, things she done on the regular. We met Dayshell like the day after the day of the birth of the baby. I did, like, personally, and we got to learn that she lived with her aunt and uncle, Evelyn Johnson. I can't recall the uncle's name, but that's who we mainly, until the aunt died, that is who we went through to get Lil Larry and Jocelyn, like, you know, for visitations and things like that. My son, it was a court order for my son to see him, and it was difficult. It was really difficult. But like I said, Miss Evelyn is who mainly took care of the Jocelyn and Little Larry. Now all of this has happened. Now I understand Miss Evelyn. I thought that Miss Evelyn was just being overprotective of Dayshell, you know, not teaching her what she needed to know to leave the home, or to like be capable of taking taking care of the kids on her own. I can recall one time Miss Evelyn said that when Dayshell gets upset with my son because they're not together, she would regret. She didn't want to take care of little Larry and Jocelyn. Miss Evelyn said that which Miss Evelyn was in a wheelchair, she took care of Larry for Dayshell, and Evelyn's husband took care of Jocelyn. I thought that was odd, but people do things differently. So, but like I told you earlier, I thought that it was odd that for the aunt to be in a wheelchair, and they were older, why they wasn't trying to get her to move out. She was definitely having sex. Miss Evelyn said she would climb out the window and leave the kids lock the kids in the room.
Oh wow! Whoa! Wait a minute! Hold on! Wait! You're talking about the biological mother,
Dayshell Johnson.
Oh Lord! Let me see if I can get her face up here. So we are talking about. I want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to see this on the screen. Let me pull it up. We are talking about. I got so many images of the aunt. This individual right here, the biological mother, her name is Dashell L. Johnson. And the reason why we're bringing her up is because the story that was put out by the news really kind of left a lot of holes in the story, even to the point of how we got here. Because you could just look at it and say, okay, the aunt had custody of these kids, trying to help the mom. She did some bad things and caused the kids to die. End of story. And that's really far from the truth. Because you'd also have to ask yourself, how did the mom go from having these two kids in her possession? Why did she bring these kids into this world and then turn around and literally pass her children off to somebody else as their responsibility? Like, how do the kids go from her possession to the aunt?
What doesn't make sense to me is how, if the sister had, she lived in a hotel, and from wherever she could lay her head. Why would Dayshell give the kids to the sister? Why not have the sister come to Dayshell's apartment and help her with the kids?
Because one of the things that I talked about that actually upset people was I said that if a person has to live out of a hotel, they probably shouldn't be parents. They shouldn't have children in their possession. And look, believe it or not, I get, like, y'all probably understand totally where I'm coming from. I just think that's a common sense thing. If you can't afford to take care of yourself, how are you going to benefit children, let alone the fact that most hotels actually have policies that prevent you from having a ton of people in your hotel room anyway. But knowing that this woman is already, like, not in the best financial position, and you, okay, so
let me tell you, let me say this, and this is what hurts me the most. I repeatedly tried to get those kids for visits. My family is family oriented. Everybody who know me know I cooked every Sunday. When the kids here, I'm doing arts and crafts with them. I got a pond in the back. I even got ducks. It's almost like a whole farm here. Mm-hmm. I've been trying to get those kids or support her. Help her. In
your opinion, why do you think the biological mother, because like I said, we're talking about two children, two different baby daddies, so that actually is confirmed. I mentioned that yesterday. But and it's so sad that I see these stories happen so often. I could actually draw a conclusion like that and end up being right. But y'all had been making yourselves available for her if she needed help. And I thought that, and I said, well,
if she allowed us to take little Larry, we took Jocelyn too. We to make sure he was comfortable when he come. And we're not gonna take one child and leave the other one out. We're not gonna do that. And plus, I'm thinking we're gonna give the aunt and uncle a break. Dayshell can get a little break, get her some, free time. Little Larry's our flesh and blood. We wanted him. We wanted to be in his life. She knew this. To punish my son for not being with her.
Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea about how old the biological mother is? I know she's in her 20s. I don't remember her age.
She's 24. I believe she's 24. Okay, I need to back this up a little bit.
Okay.
Miss Evelyn wouldn't let Dayshell take those children anywhere by herself. I'm going to say it again. Until now, I did not know. Miss Evelyn was trying to keep them kids safe from Dayshell. When she would come to my house, mind you, the baby couldn't have been a month old. Who comes to the baby father's house and we waiting, his family, my mother. Larry was blessed to have a grandma and a great-grandma.
Right.
We here waiting. She comes without a baby. Not with little Larry.
Wow.
Is that not odd?
That's extremely odd, yeah.
Not once, not twice, not three, not four, repeatedly. She came to see my son, but she didn't bring no kids. She didn't bring little Larry.
Right there. Okay, now that is a very key point, and I want some of y'all to know that me and her did have a conversation earlier, so I'm trying to kind of retread ground we've already kind of talked about. That is a very important point. So what you're basically saying, which is something that I thought earlier, is that we have this thing called hashtag babies for benefits, and it's something that I use as a hashtag to really just let people know that a lot of people, it's not all mothers, it's not all black mothers, it's not everybody, but a large number of these stories that I talk about, these people only deal with these children or have these children because they're collecting some type of benefits from them. They're using these kids. So it sounds like what you're saying is that instead of her bringing the kids by so y'all can have this family, have this sense of environment, love, care, support, all of this so-called support that you say that you needed, which was already available, what she did was she ditched the kids essentially to go see your son.
Exactly.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Not one, repeatedly, not with my son. If y'all look, she had a baby after little Larry. That man was, don't quote me on this, but far as I know, he was in jail. That's what Dayshell told me. That's why we embraced Jocelyn. She didn't have nobody. Jocelyn didn't have nobody checking on her. That's why that baby.
These kids had all the support available right there.
That's why that baby was able to be killed and been under the radar for so long, because there was nobody to check on her.
Wow.
Nobody other than me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, little Larry, his grandpa calling, I'm calling, my son's girlfriend is calling, his family from West Virginia is calling her. So it's harder to get rid of him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But then when she got this new boyfriend that I heard danced on, I could be saying it wrong, a street, Pulaski or something in Baltimore. He danced for change. Now that was the latest boyfriend. That's when that girl got rid of my son. Jocelyn had been gone. That baby had been dead.
Okay, so let's look at it like this. 2020, I believe in May, is when we suspect that, let me get these names correct. That's when we suspect that Larry, the baby Larry passed away, right?
If I read correctly, little Larry was only dead 3 months. And Jocelyn was a year.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
So I've got them
I
literally
see.
backwards. I got it backwards. Okay.
I have a son that lives with me. That my youngest son. Now, there is a few this times that he got a text message from Dayshell saying, you know, because my son, I'm telling you, we asking about these kids, and she would say, "Oh, he at my brother's house. Oh, he outside." My son, my youngest son, even asked her, "Well, go get him then."
Yeah.
Never did. Never did.
Okay, so basically the baby girl disappeared and nobody said anything because the family hadn't been allowed to be involved. That actually makes a lot of sense.
And if the little girl's daddy is in jail or incarcerated, and none of that, you know, his family was involved in her life ever, because who checking on her with
Nobody.
the corona and everything going around?
Right.
They wasn't in school. I don't understand why nobody checked any school records from before or when they went to school here in Dayton, Ohio. I mean, there's a lot of stones unturned.
Right. And people were saying that for the whole year for that baby to go. And so here's where maybe some people didn't understand where I was coming from, because I said this is actually a failure on Baltimore as a whole. And let me explain why. Because I live in Texas. I'm constantly giving Texas the L. But I gave Baltimore the L for this situation because I said, for all of the people that claim to knew this aunt and knew this mother, been around them, see these children, they've been seen before. Somebody knew that these kids were around. Next thing you know, you see one less kid. Then you see no kids. And nobody said, like whether you were neighbors at the hotel, you know, like nobody said anything at all. And that's part of where society has to step up and say, you know what, we got to do better. Because here's what I thought was so cold, and shout out to the brother, and I'm not trying to get onto his case. There was a young brother who came on that I guess partially knew the aunt. And he was saying that from what he knew, that she was a good person based on her character, based on what he knew. So I was like, okay, fine. Tell me your story. What's your thoughts on this? So he was telling me kind of like how helpful she is. She's helpful around the community, would help anybody. And I told him, I said, you know, it's a bit odd. I feel you. That's your experience with her. But I thought it was a little bit odd. The fact that she's so helpful to everybody except for the people that she has custody of.
How's she helping them? Apparently she couldn't help herself.
And living out of a hotel. Okay. Like, so, okay.
And I don't want it to come across. I don't want it to come across as like Dayshell was a victim. If she didn't want to deal with me, cause I was on her. You know, I'm hard to deal with about some kids.
Right.
Especially my blood.
Yes.
So what I did was gave her at least 14 to 17 numbers of my siblings, my mom, his sister, his niece, my nieces and nephews that are her age. This was senseless. We've offered to give Dayshell housing, apartments, cars, anything that girl would, if she would have said, Miss Quaid, that's what Miss Quaid, if she would have said, Miss Quaid, come get them, I don't care what time it was, I was coming to get them kids. I was coming to get not just little Larry, both of them.
Right.
The bond between them two kids was so tight. It was times, but now I think about it, that Dayshell would call over here irritating little Larry by letting Jocelyn scream in the phone, and little Larry would let me tell you how loving this boy was. Mm-hmm. And I don't even think he was 3 years old when this happened. And he outweighed Jocelyn by the time he was 2.5. He started rocking. He heard Jocelyn screaming, just screaming at the top of her. Dayshell got the phone laying down, and we trying to enjoy little Larry, but she got him so upset. He rocking. He said, "No, I gotta go. I gotta go. My sister need me. I gotta." He said, "I gotta go." He wasn't gonna wait on us 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. That baby was trying to get out of here and get to his sister. They bond was close. That's why I wouldn't take one without the other.
And
When
you
I
brought up
first heard
something.
the story, I thought maybe my brain went all kind of directions. I'm like, maybe they killed Lil Larry for trying to protect Jocelyn, or her trying to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was asking for his sister when they were separated for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And you couldn't separate them.
Let me
He was
ask you
coming
this.
to her, but he would protect her.
Because you brought this up just a little bit ago, and you talked about how the phone was pointed up. I want you to kind of give some details about, because y'all were trying to have video phone calls and things like that. Can you give the audience some details about these video phone calls and what was particularly odd about it to you?
The main odd thing is we never could see the whole child. You know, most people that got younger kids, you know, I don't mean no disrespect, but most black kids, if they dressing looking good, we trying to show them off. Dayshell, if she answered the phone, would set it down on a surface like maybe a table, because Lil Larry was bigger than Jocelyn, and you can see maybe this part of his face, you know, because the phone is faced up towards the ceiling, and I could see the ceiling and maybe his forehead or the side of his face. And little Jocelyn would be trying to stick her little head in there, and you say, "Hey, Nana," and little Larry would, you know, be like, "You know, this my Nana," and they, you know, from that little space from it laying on the table, instead of her holding it for him or letting them hold, hold it. She never done that.
Why do you think that is? I know you have a theory. Why do you think that is?
Because she know I would have been on her. When she would tell me that he had hand, foot, mouth, or scabies, I didn't even know what scabies was or no hand, foot, mouth. There was always something wrong with his skin. Even when we got him, and I don't want to knock Miss Evelyn because she was in a wheelchair and that older man they was doing the best they could. But when we would pick them kids up, every single time, they got new clothes, new socks, new shoes, new drawers, every time. Because that stuff that they would wear would be too little. Yeah. Or his hair, he had long hair. And his hair would be in a ponytail. When we take the rubber band down, that baby's hair would have the lint, and it would be almost like one big dread from it not being washed or combed or brushed. Little Larry's skin wasn't soft like a 2 or 3 year old.
Right.
He wasn't getting pampered and loved. That's why when he came here, I made sure that he did. He was even acting weird in the store, like he was so Walmart. What kid don't know about Walmart?
Yeah, pretty much everybody. Let me ask you this.
I read that baby's body language, and I try to.
Let me ask you this pertaining to
love him as much as I can, as hard as I could, every time I had him.
Hey, I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Let me ask you this pertaining to the biological fathers, because that's another big hole in this story that wasn't talked about, and we had to do a lot of speculating. So we got two different fathers here. Let's start with Jocelyn's father. Do you know, like, where has he been? Has he been involved at all?
I think he's been in prison.
Wow.
I can only go by Dayshell, but I want to. Yeah, we don't know him. And I think I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I can't remember. Because I didn't care about who he.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't really our concern. Yeah, I get it. Let me ask you this. So, as far as baby Larry, his dad, how much time did he get to spend with the baby? Where is he currently at? As far as all of this goes?
Okay. Now, my son, Larry, Jr., he's incarcerated. That's why we did as much as we did. Right. Because we wanted to step up to do what he couldn't do while he was gone. But let me tell you about when he was here.
Okay, yeah.
It was court ordered for my son to see them kids. They didn't want to allow it. We'd have to call the police.
The moms didn't want him to be around the kids.
them people did, it was a lot. It was, them people was weird. And I get the people weird. Okay. That ain't nothing against the law about being weird. But to deliberately make it hard for my son because they didn't like it. And I'm going to tell you why they didn't like it.
Okay.
He was outspoken, and he would tell them why my son nasty, why they didn't like that. And plus, Dayshell played both sides. Miss Evelyn loved them kids, too. They was the safest when she was alive from Dayshell. So Dayshell would play both sides. My son would give her money, give Dayshell $200 and $300. And Miss Evelyn would call me and say, the kids need this and this. And I'm like, well, earlier today, or, it would be me or Papa or Larry giving the money, and Dayshell wouldn't tell Miss Evelyn that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dayshell thrived off of conflict and pity. That's why she made them GoFundMe page before we even knew that little Larry was even dead. Before we even got the chance to even give him offer to give a proper burial.
Hold on.
She'd already had the GoFundMe pages.
I need you to pause right there. Huge revelation in this story that we didn't find out about until last night, and you are now confirming that for us. If you guys are watching this, please do us a favor and click the thumbs up. Please help share this. Our goal is to try to get the 600 thumbs up. All it does is help spread this story more. More people need to hear this, so if y'all would please do that for me. Big portion of this story. So for those who did not know, the biological mother, again, her name is Dashell L. Johnson. She is the younger sister. She is the younger sister to the aunt that was arrested for basically being held damn near solely responsible for the death of these babies. The biological mother, upon learning that her children had passed away, opened up not one GoFundMe, not two GoFundMes, but from what I heard, based on what people visually made, there were 3 GoFundMes put up, and I definitely want to hear you talk about this, but I got to throw one more piece of detail out there. After all of these GoFundMes went up, there was actually somebody who offered to pay for the burial of the kids. And on top of that, most people know that when there is some type of violent homicide or something like that pertaining to children, a lot of states will actually pick up that bill anyway. What I need you to do is tell me, how did you find out about those GoFundMes? What do you know about that, or even the amount?
That's how I found out about my grandson's death, by seeing the GoFundMe.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me say what you just said again. You found out about your grandbaby after you saw a GoFundMe page go up. Oh my God.
I found out that them kids was dead because one of my family members seen it on Facebook. To this day, Dayshell called after we seen it on Facebook. Dayshell called and no, she sent the text message and said that she was sorry. She would send us some ashes. What? And she couldn't protect them. Even before any investigation, before any of that was even.
This is the biological mother saying she's going to send you, like she didn't sound like she cared.
She gonna.
That doesn't sound like, that doesn't even sound like some, like, I'm gonna make sure you get some ad.
Yeah. She said her sister killed a baby and she was sorry. She wasn't able to protect them. But she never called me to come get them.
Oh, wow.
Where I was picking him up every other weekend until they moved to Boston. Baltimore or wherever she had went.
Uh-huh.
But if she would have had a problem where she had to send him to her sister, she should have just sent him here.
Right.
Where we have a house that's paid for.
Because y'all have already been made yourselves available to help out.
Yes.
Especially on behalf of your son.
Yes.
I take pride in being a grandma. I do. I'm gonna keep them safe. I was safe in my grandmother's house. That's what I learned. That's where you eat good and be safe, and granny house.
Yes.
Granny house.
Yeah. That's just
the
kind of
Rutherford
like
house.
we almost kind of come from the same generation. That's where, you know, when I was coming up, that's what we did. We go to grandma's house. It was always a feel good, loving place. You know, you was gonna sleep good. You know, you ate good. You're gonna have fun, and you're gonna get loved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as far as the GoFundMe's, how many GoFundMe's do you believe went up? Because I was told there were three
I saw
separate
3
ones.
for sure.
I
saw
thought it was
3 for
3.
sure.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
After I found out about the deaths and things, I couldn't sleep. I started looking, and I just, the more details that I heard and saw, it took me today to be able to actually speak the words to say it. Even 24 hours after I knew, I couldn't. This is the worst thing
It don't even feel real.
It can't even.
Like this can't be something that's happening in our life.
I can't
like,
even
this
put
is,
it in the words. I can't even. It was senseless.
Yeah.
It was. Let's just say that she didn't participate in the death of them.
Right.
You neglected them for no reason. She could have just said so.
That actually is going to take me into another portion of what I want to discuss, which is a key point about why I'm honored to have both of y'all here, because I do want to talk about as far as like her being investigated for neglect. Because here's the thing, and y'all might not find this so funny, but I think it's actually an awesome statement, but I want to see what y'all feel about this. I have this theory where I say that the person who takes their children and puts their children in danger should be held accountable for the danger that their children end up in. And what I call that is these mothers taking their children to the thug zoo. They know that these thug lions are in these cages for a reason, and they take their kids over there like, oh, look at the cute little lion. And then they take their children and because they like the lion, they stick their children in the lion's cage and say, you know what, kids, I'll be back. I'll come back and get y'all in a little bit. Walk off, and then next thing you know, these lions then maul these children's faces off, and then people are expecting to feel bad for the parent that put those children in that position, and I call that the thug zoo, playing with the thug lions. Now, a lot of times that has to do with the men that they choose to date. In this situation, it's actually her neglecting her children flat out. And I think that is a grossly overlooked thing. That is a grossly overlooked thing whenever you put your children in a bad position and something happens to them. And I think that one thing that the law does, especially if you know that, hey, if there's a severe enough penalty for something that you've done, it makes people rethink the choices that they make. And I think that there has to be some accountability, whether it be mother or father who put their children in bad positions, that they need to be held accountable. So that takes us, we're going to get back to that GoFundMe here in just a moment. She did not go through the courts in order to give custody literally over to this aunt. Can't do that, especially when you have some of these kids on paperwork and all of this type of stuff. This individual was not qualified. She was literally living in shambles her damn self. And
qualified.
You push your children off, not only pushing your children off, but you know, for the reasons. I think the reasons actually do matter. Let me give you a perfect example. You guys have heard about hate crimes, right?
Yes.
Right.
Crimes are crimes. Death is death. But they throw a little bit of extra season, a little bit extra spice on there when they find out what your motive, what your reason was. See what I'm saying? That's the difference between somebody getting charged with a crime and a hate crime. Here's the reason why I bring that up. Because if her intention was for her to go lay up under some new man, go play fancy for some other man, I think that's the spice and a key ingredient that makes this just a hell of a lot worse. The fact that you dumped your kids off just any freaking where you wasn't going to have any accountability for you to go get you some sexual pleasure elsewhere. I think that's disgusting.
I think this is disgusting. Who rides around with a kid in the trunk of their car for a whole year?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And we brother, we have to talk about that. And the guy that we actually talked to last night, he's in the live chat right now. Shout out to him. I got to call this out because I called it out last night when he said that the aunt gave him a ride and she came up with excuses for the smell in the car. And I was just like, Lord bless this brother. Like, I know he probably means well, but I'm just like, death has a human death has a very distinctive scent to it. It is unmistakable. It's not like I've smelled dead pigs before. Like they had this thing way up in Guyman, Oklahoma called the Pig Farm. I had to drive to that goddamn place. I hated that place because they used to have a route that used to take me up there. I used to have to deliver supplies. That is an unmistakable smell, but it ain't like human death. It's very different. Very different. And I said to myself, I was like, that's scary, the fact that, you know, she had this one baby in there for at least a year. Smell emanating from this car. And this is why I said Baltimore takes an L for this. Another reason, because I'm just like, how can you be around this car, be around this woman? That smell will hit you, and you don't even bother to say, hey, Baltimore police, y'all might want to come over here and come at least check this smell out. Because I'm just saying, it smells a whole lot of wrong over here. Can y'all at least come check this out? And in 10 months, nobody said anything at all. That's freaky to me.
Right. And you riding in the car with it?
That's...
And then she got to be crazy. And then she put him in there with the other one.
I couldn't make any sense of it. And I just say, man, it's just, for some people, there's just a special place in hell next to Satan for them.
And that's supposed to be a good person.
He said she's a good person.
And that's also another thing that scares me, because where is our discernment? I learned that word discernment, you know, going through the Christian camp I used to be in. And discernment is really using your spiritual, physical senses to be able to really, truly understand the essence of something. And discernment couldn't tell people this is not a good person. And me and your wife talked about this. You can look this aunt in the eyes and tell that she ain't all there. This girl is a couple tacos short of a combination plate. This girl wouldn't win a race against a turtle. She looks slower than a bottle of molasses that's been left out in the snow. Okay. It's something wrong with her. She ain't all there.
You can tell something wrong with her. Dayshell knew something was wrong with her. That's why she gave him to him. She knew. She knew. And if she didn't, she's still wrong. She neglected him.
Let me ask you this.
They starved him. And beat him.
Dang, it's so much we need to talk about. The starving, the beating, the spanking, because I'm totally against people spanking. And like I said, I come from the old school. I come from a generation of black folks that, I mean, that's just in the South. That's just what it was. Everybody was allowed to spank you. Pastors were, aunties, uncles, anybody who knew you. If you wasn't doing right, if you wasn't walking a straight line, everybody had access to put that leather on your ass.
Yeah.
That's it. And we believed it was okay, and we believed it was out of love. And I've taught people, because I'm like, I think in order for you to teach, you have to understand both perspectives in order to properly teach a message. So I tell people, not only do I come from that generation, but here's also what I've learned by raising kids a completely different way. It is not the quote unquote white way to not spank your kids and spare the rod. And I always tell people this very important thing. If you can't teach a child without being physical with them, I don't think people are suitable to be parents, because teaching a child starts in the mind and in the heart. It has nothing to do with physicality. Because all a person learns from being physical is fear, not respect. And a lot of times we get that confused and we think, oh yeah, I respect. No, you fear. You hear people talk about how they scared of a 5'2" mama. What she gonna do to me? You're not physically scared of her. That's more of a mental block. That's fear. That's not ruled by respect because that's illogical. Because logically, you could overpower this individual. And it's just kind of like, it's the easy way out. You know what? I'm going to just beat this 2 or 3 year old up. That's what I'm going to do. But why can't you do that to your wife?
He couldn't have been.
Why can't you do that? Why your husband getting out of line? You can't just go tell your husband to bend over and put him over a chair. So if you can't do that to your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, how can you be allowed to do that to somebody that's a quarter of your size, who can't do anything to stop you from doing it? And that's part of where, when people ask, well, what does my podcast do? What does my show do? My show actually teaches and educates people a different way, because this primarily affects us. Because and it's really a polarizing thing, because we even admit the fact that, oh yeah, white people don't spank their kids. I mean, we know that some do, some don't, whatever the case is, but we say that in a prevalent way because we know that we believe in being physical with our kids. We think that's the right way to go about things. So I know that that's something that they need to hear from somebody who shares the same skin color and understand that that type of thing is wrong. It's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother level of evil to starve a kid. And let me explain why. Let me explain why. Them kids can't go work. They can't go get a job and go earn money for 2-3 weeks and go buy them some food. They can't drive themselves to the store. They can't get online and go apply for food stamps or anything like that. Those children are completely dependent on us for each and everything that they get. That is a special level of evil for a person to starve a kid. And based on what we understood from the initial reports, the children at their ages were severely underweight. If you took their weights and put them together, added them together, their weight still wouldn't even be the weight of a typical kid their age combined. And they starved them. The spanking part is new. Yeah, so that's new information that you just gave me. I didn't know about that part. So I would have to assume that the mom didn't give a crap, and she probably spanked the kids, and I'm assuming the aunt did too.
To be honest, I don't see Dayshell doing the physical hitting them kids. I can't say those kids. Whenever I ever had them, and I never seen Miss Evelyn ever hit them kids, it wasn't necessary.
Right.
They were quiet kids. They wasn't rowdy or aggressive or smart alecky. Those were some well-mannered, loving kids.
Yeah.
They had 50 million questions. They were bright. They were brilliant. Jocelyn was really intelligent. She was smart. She was helpful. She was sweet. She was sweet as she can be. Mm-hmm. She was.
So let me ask you this. Dashell, let me get her name up here again. Dashell L. Johnson. Do you guys have any idea where she's at now? Like, is she just running around free as a bird?
No, we know where she at. We never seen her since she left Dayton.
Oh, wow.
But let me say this. She sent an address, and the same address that she gave me, because I was talking to her trying to get information about where she lived at, and, you know, arranges for this funeral that she was talking about. And she said, send it to this address. So I use Google Map and search the address, okay? Because I was on my way to Baltimore. I want answers because too much time it went by. She gave that exact same address to a reporter, and the reporters went there, and those people said they don't know her and she has never lived there. So why would she lie to me? If we coming down there to what she thought to embrace her and help her and consult her and help with funeral arrangements and stuff, for the funeral and stuff. Why would she tell us the wrong address?
Right. So she basically been ducking y'all literally this entire time, just so she wouldn't be held accountable for raising these children properly, because her intention was never to have these children. What's even more crazy about this is we talk about babies for benefits. She only had these children literally just to try to hold on to a man, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, she's so dingy. She didn't have no responsibility. We had her, the auntie and uncle, until they dad had them. She wasn't allowed to take them anywhere, not to a store, not to a park, not to her friend. I've never heard her say, "Well, me and the kids went over my aunt, my friend's house," or not even another family member's house. Not even. She's never been anywhere with them. Never.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I died, and then she briefly had an apartment, but we never, ever were allowed in that. We stood in front. She came out. And let me tell you this. We wouldn't even say how trifling she looked when we would pick little Larry up on the west side of town, across for the street from a truck stop at a hotel. Dayshell and some older man come out, and little Larry would see Papa's car and just be glowing and happy. He looking for him and almost running away from Dayshell to get in the car. Like,
right.
We try to create less conflict with her as we could to get as much as we could with the kids. We did our best to.
And let me say this, and I hope this stands as just a tidbit of encouragement to you guys, because I always tell people the failure is never on CPS. The failure is never on the government. The failure is never on police. The failure is not on aunts and uncles, grandparents. The failure starts at the biological mother and biological father. And that's where we have to really start creating very, very strong ties and encouraging that mindset to be much better before we even start making children, because it is such a tough thing to raise children. And the fact that you guys can stand strong and know that you can sleep at night. Y'all did all y'all could. You gave it 130, 150% effort, putting in and trying to not only find one kid, but both kids. And you gave it everything that you could. And I think that's a beautiful thing to know that, you know what? I've done my part. That's something you can definitely rest on that for sure. Let me ask you this, because I definitely believe in justice. I believe in justice, not only for these children, but to the dozens, if not probably hundreds, maybe even a thousand at this point. I can't tell you how many stories I've done. As far as for justice in this situation, I don't think we need to just stop at the aunt. I don't think justice should stop there. I think justice should also be followed up with the mom getting some charges. How do y'all feel about the mom potentially getting some neglect charges?
Yes.
Definitely. I also want to point out that Evelyn's husband had called Baltimore police and CPS for welfare checks on those kids. He did.
Okay.
I even told another reporter that somebody needs to find him. I know he's older, and I did hear he was sick, but to get so they can hear what she was like in their home. I only got what looking from the outside, looking in, and what Dayshell told me and what Miss Evelyn told me. That man was there with Dayshell. He can vouch for the kicking in of the door, because the kids are left in the room or whatever, and that he took care of Dayshell while the auntie took care of Lil Larry.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because actually, I want to go right back to that GoFundMe real quick, because from what I heard, the amount that the biological mother, Dashell L. Johnson, and her name is spelled Dachelle L. Johnson, spelled traditionally. The total amount of GoFundMe's ended up adding up to about, I think he said about $50,000 or so.
When I seen the three, I think it was 30 something thousand. But like I said, I stopped looking at what Dayshell or Nicole or the Nikki or the aunt was anything about that. I started searching for somebody to tell what I knew. Mm-hmm. I started reaching out to. I was up trying to figure it out. Because, like I said, nobody registered.
Nobody
like
told
right
y'all
now,
anything. Yeah.
Nobody told my son that it's, from law enforcement or investigate. Nobody told my son that his son was dead.
How was he taking it?
Right now, nobody's talked to this family at all.
How was your son taking it right now?
He's very upset.
And to try to keep him with a level-head while he in there, it's hard. He's devastated. He's heartbroken. No matter what he did in his life or why he in there, he didn't deserve his son to come back home in ashes. He didn't deserve for his son to die. He loved that boy. He loved on his boy, on little Larry. He spent time with him. He did what he needed to do. Went to court to try to get his rights and custody for little Larry. I forced him to make sure that he did his best by little Larry. Mm-hmm. The same way my son would get a house, a car, or anything else in his name, he signed little Larry's birth certificate. As trifling as Dayshell was, he didn't want to deal with her, but he made sure that he did for little Larry's sake.
Let me ask you this, because I have some people, and again, if you guys don't know, we are actually live. This is not pre-recorded, which is why we had some internet issues earlier. But I do have a couple questions coming from the chat. And people wanted to know, let's start with the first question. Okay. They want to know how Pawpaw was feeling. They want to talk to you, I guess. They want to know how you're feeling about this.
It hurt, very upset. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know.
At first, I didn't either. It took me to get angry because I wasn't getting answers.
Yeah.
I went through I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, But once I took a minute to step back, I had to get away from him, not being by myself for a minute, so I knew what to say when media asked me something or where I should go to figure out what happened to him and trying to figure out who else knew Dayshell. Who, I got it in my head that I'm not gonna shut up until I get justice for Larry, for Jocelyn.
Let me ask you this. People also ask, are there any grandparents' rights in Baltimore or in the area where y'all live?
Now we are in Dayton.
We're in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, okay, okay.
Dayshell used to live here. She only went up to Baltimore maybe a year and a half, two at the most. Uh-huh. When the aunt passed, and then she was on her own briefly 2-3 months maybe, and then she came up with the idea to go with her biological mother in Baltimore. That's where Miss Evelyn's family is from.
And somebody else said, why didn't they call CPS or do a welfare check? But you already clarified they did do that. So
right.
Okay. So
and when the reporter asked me that before, it was because she would do the very minimum, answer to a text message through my son, or she'll send me, I got a picture of him with a haircut or this or that. So I just thought that she was just being selfish with the kids. I didn't want to, it wasn't nothing wrong, get her in trouble or anything like that. Like, I had absolutely no idea that any of this could be plausible, possible, or, I mean, until it happened, like I said, I just thought she was a little weird and childish and, you know, a little trifling, you know. So I'm older, so I tried to, like, hey, like,
tried to be a little open-minded, understanding. Yeah.
And stand on her own 2 feet. Even when she would be angry because she couldn't be with my son, I would tell her, you need to act as an adult. You need to get your own place and take care of your kids and go to school and go to work. That's what adults do. Women take care of their kids and go to work and go to school. That's normal. Yeah. That's normal. And she has enough family to do that. You know, I try to give her that push, that thrive. She can do it. You know, I would tell her, yes, you can. And I even told the auntie when the auntie used to say, no, she can't. I'm like, she almost an adult. Yes, she can. Show her. We're going to show her. That's what my mother did with me. I was a young mother. She didn't let me slack. She made me, she made me be involved with them kids. To not let me, you know, men around my kids and stuff like that. I wasn't a perfect kid, but I had a parent that you know, she wasn't playing with me about my kids. Yeah. So what I learned, I try to teach something, you know, pass it on.
Right. Yeah. Okay, couple more questions, and I want to thank y'all so much for even taking the time that y'all have and spending it here. I definitely appreciate that. So I don't want to take too much more of advantage of it, but I did want to ask a couple more questions coming from the chat. They wanted to know how y'all feel about the GoFundMes, and you can answer that either in general or about how the biological mother created these GoFundMes to try to generate income.
That I'm not for sure about. She must have been doing that for herself, because if they was going to take care of the kids anyway, she must have been trying to accumulate some money from maybe her and her boyfriend.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was done at the wrong time.
I don't think it was for the kids.
It wasn't. It was strange. It was at the wrong time. It was for her and her boyfriend. And I had enough sense to know, oh, wait, they got to do autopsies and all this stuff. And, you know, I knew that wasn't going to be an instant, you know, like, wasn't like she started to go fund me, like, real quick. Like, when I saw it, I just.
Shock. Yeah.
I like I said, it took to talk to you and Miss McKinnon for me to stop crying, because I said, now somebody gonna know besides us. More people will see about it and investigate more. Like watch it. Investigate on her. Like it's more to it. It don't make no sense, her actions that she did. And I wanted, if she had anything to do with the death of my grandson, I wanted to be accountable for it. Yeah. Period.
Yeah. Speaking of accountability, do y'all know if the police have any intention of investigating the biological mother? Because I think they should.
We don't know.
We wouldn't know. How would we? They ain't. Well, I don't know.
They haven't told.
But maybe now that they hear this, maybe they will.
Yeah. Maybe
they will. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, because there definitely shouldn't be any statute of limitation on this. There shouldn't be any statute of limitation on this. So I'm definitely hoping that they look into this, because that's a clear neglect charge that led to this even coming to fruition. So that's kind of why I'm asking. So y'all don't know, but I'm definitely advocating and saying that needs to happen. They definitely need to investigate that in a capacity of neglect.
Yes.
If nothing else.
Okay. One last question. Like, I'm trying to kind of pick the ones I think make sense to ask. If I hope my chat don't mind me saying that. Is the mom making? I don't know how y'all feel about this because I'm kind of scared to ask this. But is the mom even planning to come to the funeral?
It's what?
Is the mom making plans to try to come to the funeral? The biological mom.
The kids is up there where she is.
Oh.
So I get. Oh, yeah, because later on today
She texted. Yeah.
Yeah, she said the colors was pink and red, and she will call us Monday to let us know
When and where
when the funeral was and what time.
Ooh. Okay. I know that's a lot to think about. Okay. Okay, let's do this. And again, I want to thank y'all so much for your time. And I know that them, you know, those babies loved y'all. And like I said, you did everything that you could. And, you know, like I said, that's at least something you can rest well with. But let me give y'all the floor and let me give y'all y'all closing thoughts. I would like y'all to both give your closing thoughts.
I want justice for little Larry. I want anybody who knows anything about this. Don't just go on Facebook and text and post, make posts and conversate about it. Do something. Tell somebody. Them kids didn't live right when they was on this earth last. Let's do right by them. If you know something, say something. It's not snitching. You being a voice for them two kids who live horribly. They last few days or years on this earth. Them kids were starved and mistreated. They need justice. Don't let Dayshell or even don't let it be in vain. Say something. Leave anonymous tips. Something. Don't let this be in vain. Don't. He didn't deserve this.
Yeah. Brother, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Somebody got to be accountable.
Well, look, I want to thank y'all so much. Like I said, I admire not only y'all courage and strength for coming on here. You know, I think your spirit and your head was just in an amazing place. I thank y'all because I know this is a very difficult thing, especially even trust me. Y'all don't know me if but a phone conversation that we had earlier. But I thank y'all so much for trusting me and what I'm trying to build here as far as this platform, to be able to give a voice, to be able to give an advocacy for us to try to fight for something that I believe matters. Because I see people get out there every day and they're out here protesting about this, protesting about that. They usually have to do with adults. And I'm like, you know what? When is somebody going to take a stand and give the children a voice? These babies can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves against the things that they've been put up against. And like I said, I think we need more of that focus to shift away from all of the politics and away from all of the celebrity bull crap and all these adults and things going on with grown people who made their choices in life, and give these kids a chance to grow up and do something.
To be a kid. You grow up.
I just think they need a chance.
Missing for a whole year and nobody know nothing.
Yeah. That's just simply inexcusable.
Yeah.
But I want to thank y'all so much. Like I said, I know it's getting late over here in Texas. I'm not sure the time it is out there. I don't know if we're in the same time zone or not.
I appreciate you. I would take as long as you needed. We needed you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And I will tell y'all this: if there are any other developments or if there's anything else that you guys end up wanting to share with us, you now know how to get in contact with me. And you see, I do respond. I know people think, oh, well, he might not respond. No, if you hit me up, I do respond. Absolutely.
You were pretty quick about it. You were.
So yeah, if there's something more I can do, like I say, I will be at your disposal. Our platform will be at your disposal if there's anything else that you need from me.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, it's an absolute honor to have y'all on here, and y'all have a blessed night, okay?
You too.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up. And I thank them so much for coming on. And I think that was quite a bit eye-opening. And I don't think this is going to be the end of this. I don't want this to be the end of it, because I believe that we might be able to get the mom at least looked at. I don't think we need to rest it at least until the mom gets investigated for neglect at the very least, okay? But I want to thank y'all so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. And again, I want to thank them so much for coming on and speaking with us. Now, guys, we actually have part 2, and I want to thank you guys again. If y'all would please click that thumbs up. We're not done yet. There is a part 2 to this. I have another story that I want to talk about with you guys. If y'all don't mind, give me just a second. Let me bring those pictures up real quick. There is another heinous incident that happened, and I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm originally from Oklahoma. How many of y'all know I'm originally from Oklahoma? I live in Texas, used to be in Oklahoma. Spent most of my life in Oklahoma. Guess what? Oklahoma, Tulsa specifically, but Oklahoma takes an L, and a large L, because when y'all hear about this situation, their entire family who knew about this and let this go on and let this happen is also going to take an L. This is going to be insane. Said thumbs up. Thank you, True Crime Chaos, and all of you guys. Falk Wolf said the mom is getting investigated. I'll make sure of it. Falk Wolf, I got to tell you, it's not only it's an honor to have you back in the chat, but always been an amazing advocate. But I thank you so much for being here. So it was an absolute pleasure to my eyes to see your name in the chat. But good looking out. Definitely appreciate you being here. But again, to the family, to the dad side of the family, to them, this ain't over. We gonna make sure that we do what we can to try to get y'all justice. That's for sure. Let's talk about this story. How many of you guys heard about this individual? His name is Juan Miranda Jara. Juan Miranda Jara. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. If I pronounced it incorrectly, just because he is a sick individual, I really don't give a crap. And I did not even pull any videos. I don't think I'm gonna need any videos for this. Y'all give me a moment. Let me see if I can pull up something real quick. I didn't have a single video. Totally forgot. That is my bad. Hold on. Where are we with the thumbs up? Can one of my, let me see. Jay, this case is nuanced. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Falk Wolf. And Brandy, shout out to Brandy. I appreciate you as well. Definitely appreciate that. Let me see what I can pull up real quick. There's this. Yeah, those are you. I don't need YouTuber videos. There should have been a news video. I don't know how, if this even made the news or not. Like as far as videos, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. Because normally I have this pulled up, so I'm sorry. We're working on the fly. Let me see.
Oklahoma.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Let's see. Let's try this one. Let's see if this one pulls up anything. If not, we're just going to tell this story. We could definitely tell this without any news videos. Let's see. Let's go less than a month. Yeah, these are all YouTuber videos. I don't need those. We're going to be real brief about this. Let's go ahead and get it in. Let's get it in. We don't need videos for this. Let's talk about this. There is a nuance to this case. This case is not as open and shut as it seems. Yeah, Falkwolf, I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. It said AFC is awesome. Thank you, Erica. All of you guys. Let me see. Let me thank real quick. I think I've already thanked everybody in here. If you guys utilize any of the links in the description box, just let me know when you do, and I will make sure and shout it out. If you decide to leave a message in there, I'll shout you out as well. But let's go ahead and talk about this. Somebody said they need to be deported for those eyebrows. Those eyebrows don't even look real. Like her face don't even look real. I thought that was like a mannequin or something. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, guys know I tend to give the L to states, especially when I feel like there is a gross negligence for the protection of children. Children can't speak for themselves, can't defend themselves, and they depend on their parents for each and everything that they get. This situation is definitely no exception. Oklahoma, my original home state, no longer my home state. Live in Texas. Oklahoma takes the L. For this that you see on my screen, these two people, let me go back for a moment. What you are looking at on my screen right now is human garbage. Y'all hear me? Human garbage. These people are disgusting. They are horrible individuals. There is a special place in jail and hell for these two individuals, but I need to explain to you why that's the case. There is an Oklahoma man, and I got to tell y'all, it ain't just Oklahoma, it's Tulsa specifically. Tulsa, Oklahoma, up there in the northeastern area of Oklahoma. A man has been arrested for rape after police say that he brought a 12-year-old girl, brought a pregnant 12-year-old girl that he was calling his girlfriend to the hospital to give birth to their baby. That in itself is a lot to take in. I'm going to read it again just to make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from. I'm going to give you guys some details in this story, and I also did the best I could to try to block out this girl's information because she is a minor. She's alive. She's a minor. I did the best I could to try to block out her face, her name, and other stuff, okay? So that is intentional. The man that you see standing next to that young baby girl, this girl is 2 years younger than my daughter. Y'all hear me? 2 years younger than my daughter. 12 years old. If she's pregnant at 12, that means that there was probably some illicit deeds going on with this girl in a sexual nature that were happening prior to her being 12 years old. Y'all understand? There's a lot to unpack here. This dude took his 12-year-old pregnant girlfriend. The fact that he even called her his girlfriend. Woo boy, we are going to talk about him a lot. 12-year-old girlfriend to a hospital to give birth to their baby. And I know y'all are wondering who that individual is on the right-hand side of the screen, who literally looks like somebody carved her face out of a potato with those fake eyebrows. Look at those eyebrows, ma'am. Why does your face look like that? I have no idea why she decided to exit her house looking that level of stupid is beyond me. I just don't understand. Oh, goodness. I've literally seen better looking things go flushing down the toilet rather than her face. I know lizards that got better looking faces than that. My goodness. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Officers were called to the Hillcrest Medical Center for a report of a potential rape involving a 12-year-old girl who was in labor on July the 14th according to the Tulsa Police Department, Tulsa, Oklahoma. The suspect, 24-year-old Juan Miranda Hara, that guy, he's posing in pictures with her on Facebook. They're having baby showers. There is so much wrong with this. Bookmark that. We'll come back to it. The suspect, again, 24 years old, admitted to police that he has been in a relationship with this child since October of 2020. Police said Miranda Hara proudly told him that he was the father of this baby girl. The baby girl his girlfriend was about to deliver, and seemed confused as to why officers were called to the hospital. I want to know where this dude is originally from and where he got this mindset. Yeah, she had to have been pregnant at 11 years old. Like, where do they, what planet do they do this on? They walked in just like any other couple would, expected to deliver their newborn child, according to Tulsa police officer Danny Bean, who told the news. Bean added that the expected couple, through the situation, was kind of fine and did not see anything wrong with it. I know y'all are wondering who this woman is. We're gonna get to her. This is the mother of that 12-year-old, well, she's 12 now, of that 12-year-old girl. She's also the woman who provided access to her daughter. So I'm going to assume that she's the girlfriend of that fool over there on the right-hand side. Rapist face looking ass boy. So he was with the mom and then ended up taking advantage of the mom's daughter. And they were all okay. And not only just her, but the entire family was okay with this, to the point where they had a effing, I have to say effing. I can't curse a lot on this channel. They had a freaking baby shower for an 11-year-old girl going on 12 years old. Not even a teenager. You said it's not illegal in Mexico, then why is he here in America? I think that should be illegal across the freaking planet. That is insane. I can't attest if that's normal in Mexican culture, but over here in America, we just see things a little bit different. We see this as a child. That is clearly a child. Have y'all ever had a conversation with an 11-year-old? Look, I'm gonna tell y'all, and I'm gonna be real honest. Let's have a real conversation for a moment. I am in my 30s. Do y'all know what it's like to have a conversation with a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, even some 25-year-olds? Have y'all ever had to have a conversation with somebody in their younger 20s? Think about that. And then snatch away 10 years. Reverse that by 10 years. Do y'all understand where I'm coming from? I've met some women in their younger 20s and I'm like, are you kidding me? Maybe it's just some of the women that I've met, but it just don't seem like a lot of the mentalities are there. Like it's going to take them some time, maybe until they get into their 30s, to really mentally, spiritually, emotionally developed to get to the place where they need to be able to be, not only to be solid individuals, but to be good parents. I've ran into some 30-year-old women who still were trying to kind of figure themselves out. And y'all mean that I don't understand that. I don't. I don't. Aren't 11 and 12-year-old girls still learning how to learning hygiene at this point? Still pretty early on in grade school? This fool had a baby shower. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I can't even read the news story because it's just every bit of this is not only pissing me off, I don't understand it. I don't have all my thoughts together. It's like I'm walking into a fog. I can't see anything. I don't understand this. I am a father to a girl who is a few years older than this girl. I've been a youth counselor. I've been around plenty of kids this age. And I don't think, it's not even about culture. It's not even about what's acceptable in Mexico. It's about the development, the mentality of somebody who is a preteen, and and this dude is what? How old is he? He's 24 years old. I had my daughter with my daughter's mom at 24 years old. My daughter's mom was 25 at the time. I've always dated older women. I've always had an affinity for older women. Not even my own age. I think I need to just tell the story because I'm getting a little bit just messed up in the head. The age of consent law in Oklahoma, if y'all didn't know, is actually 16 years old, which I think is still a little bit low. But that is subjective. That is totally subjective because they just pick a number based on what they think is appropriate. Age of consent is 16 in Oklahoma, and it's like that in a lot of other states. So that means that this man was 5 years under that. 5 years under that. Despite her young age, the 12-year-old delivered a healthy baby daughter and was later released from the hospital, but without her quote-unquote boyfriend. Why do they keep using the term boyfriend? Why don't you call him what he is? He's a child rapist. He's a pedophile. In this situation, because I don't even think this qualifies as hebephile. I think this qualifies if you're raping an 11-year-old girl. That would be a pedophile, would it not? I don't really remember which age it is. Maybe y'all can look that up in the chat. But I think this qualifies as pedophile in America. Miranda Hara was arrested on charges of first-degree rape, but police said he could face additional counts related to the underage pregnancy. Police have not said how Miranda Hara first came into contact with the young girl, why she was allowed to have a sexual relationship with a man twice her age, and how she was able to carry baby to full term without anybody reporting the pregnancy to authorities. But again, I told y'all my theory is that he was probably dealing with the biological mom, and the mom allowed him to get with her daughter, that's inexcusable. And I think, matter of fact, I think they did arrest the mom, but we'll get back to that. Social media posts suggest that some of Miranda Hara's relatives were allegedly aware of this. They knew about this, and then they approved of him being with this minor girl. On his Facebook page, let me see if I can bring that back up. Can y'all see this right here, or do I need to make it bigger? On his Facebook page, right there, which has been since deleted, Miranda Hara openly stated that he was in a relationship with the underage girl. It showed her name, it showed her face, showed her city, showed that she was in a relationship with him, because you have to do it from both two different accounts. Probably shouldn't do that motion, but anyway. It stated that he was in a relationship with the underage girl, and it showed photos. They had photos of each other on each other's pages. In one image, the man is seen happily posing with the pregnant 12-year-old, wearing a floral dress and a festive sash with pink and gold balloons and a cupcake tower in the background. Miranda Hara, jailed as of Wednesday, is on a $50,000 bond. Let me say that again. $50,000. $50,000. Why is that $50,000 number egregious? Let me tell y'all something, and I think I can properly correlate these two ideas. If this man raped a woman his own age, do y'all know that his bail would actually probably be higher, and maybe even potentially no bail? If she just claimed that he raped her, his bail will probably be higher. Let alone the fact that you can clearly see that this girl had been groomed into this. She was allowed to be in this situation because the parents didn't give a crap. And you get a $50,000 bond? Something about that just does not seem right. He is due back in court on August the 26th. That is 25 days from today. I'm going to tell y'all this. I don't always understand culture. I don't always understand tradition. But I just think that some things should just be common sense. And I don't understand where anybody would think that a man in his mid-20s would have anything to do, or any like, how can you, like where do you and an 11-year-old / 12-year-old girl have things in common? Y'all both like to color? Y'all both like to watch cartoons together? Let me tell y'all what makes this even worse. If the family lives in Oklahoma, look, because I know y'all are saying that the tradition comes from Mexico. The family has been living in Oklahoma for who knows how long. Their residence is in Oklahoma. They should be used to American laws. If you're in our country, you follow the freaking laws. You follow the damn laws in our country. Or why would you even be here? If you like the way Mexico get down, then why you got your retarded ass over here in our country? Is that bad of me to say? I'm sorry. I just got to keep it real for a moment because I'm still pretty pissed off. You like the tradition so much. Why the F are y'all in our country? You're going to be in our country and disrespect our rules and disrespect our tradition and disrespect an 11-year-old girl. And again, this woman, Desiree Castaneda, I think is the biological mother, and I think she's been arrested. Let me make sure, because I don't think I pulled her story up, but I can pull it up real quick. Only take a minute. We're doing this live, so y'all bear with me a moment. Yep, she is the mom. Let me tell y'all about her. An Oklahoma mother has been accused of allowing her 12-year-old daughter to carry on a relationship with a 24-year-old man, even throwing a baby shower to celebrate her preteen daughter's pregnancy and providing the couple with condoms who clearly they weren't using. The mother and daughter came to America illegally back in January of 2021 after seeking asylum. Wow. And the mother was arrested. Isn't that something? Wow. True Crime Chaos, I got to give a shout out to you. Said, I'm Latina and Mexicans don't support this. Well, thank you. Thank you for speaking those words. I appreciate that. Said it's illegal in Mexico too to have relations with a 12-year-old. Like I say, even just looking at it, it doesn't, like if you just logically look at it, it doesn't make sense. There is no level of relativity. A mid 20-year-old man has nothing in common with an 11 or 12-year-old. The biological mother, Desiree Castaneda, who's 33 years old, is now facing charges of enabling child sex abuse and child neglect after the 12-year-old girl gave birth in an Oklahoma hospital earlier this month. The father had reportedly brought the girl to the hospital on July 14th and is now facing charges of first-degree rape. And he got a $50,000 bond. The investigation revealed that the victim's mother and family members were completely aware of the relationship between the victim and Miranda Hara. Now, why aren't they being investigated and why aren't they getting arrested? They knew something, allowed it to happen and didn't say anything, and they live in our country? You come to our country seeking asylum, but that's what I'm talking about. If you come to our country and disrespect our country, I think that we should bleed some red, white, and blue and not allow people to come over and trample on our freaking colors. How about that as Americans? Black people always talking about we've been in this country for 400 years, and white people been here for however long, and Native Americans have been here for however long, and other people of other ethnicities and nationalities have been here for all this time, but yet y'all continue to keep allowing outsiders to come to your country and disrespect your rules and your law and take advantage of your country. You come here, you integrate, and you follow our freaking laws. How about that? Melting pot my ass. If I go to China, best believe I'm probably not going to be allowed to have free speech over there like I would here. You know why? Because when I'm in China, I follow China's rules. Yes? If I took my black ass over to Australia, guess what I would have to follow? Their laws, their rules. And shout out to Tommy, he made me think about this. Shikari wanted to take her butt over there and go to the Olympics, but guess what? Their country, their rules, and their Olympics, you can't smoke weed. Right? Their Olympics, their rules. You come to our country, you follow our rules. Everybody who is a citizen, a legal citizen of the United States of America should absolutely be an advocate for your country, for your city, your state, your county, your house, your neighborhood. Stand up. Get a backbone. Don't allow somebody to come over and come destroy your value, your country, and put their thoughts and their sick beliefs onto us. Because guess what that's going to do? That's actually going to be a danger to you and your children. If you care about your kids, if you care about your way of life and all of that good stuff, you see something, you should say something. And it's too many people knew that there was something wrong here, because you see this woman with the drawn on eyes that look like somebody came on with a magic marker and just wrote on her face something very stupid with those stupid eyebrows and that stupid looking face. There were people that knew Desiree Castaneda. There were people that knew Mr. Miranda Hara. And there were people that knew that 11-year-old / 12-year-old girl. And y'all can't tell me that everybody saw that and nobody knew nothing. Nobody knew nothing was going on. The victim's father is currently in prison serving a 12-year sentence for first-degree rape in an unrelated case. Oh, God. Not even in this case. The victim's father is currently in prison serving a 12-year sentence for first-degree rape in an unrelated case. Unrelated. Unrelated. Miranda Hara allegedly told police that he had been in a relationship with the 12-year-old victim since October 2020 at the time of his arrest. Tulsa police officer Danny Bean told the news that it is not clear how Miranda Hara had known the 12-year-old girl, but I told y'all how I felt like he knew her. He went through the mom. Probably physically went through the mom too. The baby, according to Bean, was born healthy. The Tulsa County District Attorney's Office declined to discuss the case with the news, citing a department policy not to comment on pending cases. Miranda Hara has been appointed a public defender because guess what? He's got nice hats. He's got fancy wristwatches and nice clothes and chains and big, huge baby showers that the family provided. But they didn't provide him a lawyer. Y'all don't find that a bit odd? Public defender. Couldn't afford private counsel. But they could afford to provide things that exacerbate an already bad problem. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for August 26th, according to court records. Jail records indicate that Castaneda is being held at the Tulsa County Jail on a $50,000 bond. $50,000 bond, like I say, for putting your child in the lion's cage at the Thug Zoo, to me is inexcusable, and I've been talking about this for a long time. If you, as a mother with a drawn-on face, first of all, I think you should get 12 months in jail just for having drawn-on eyebrows that you took a magic marker with and drew it on your damn stupid-ass face with. She looks stupid. She looked hella stupid. That should be a crime to look that stupid. But to take your child and put your child in this dangerous position where this girl was defenseless, there was nothing she could do about it. I think that alone, because you put this child in danger, you neglected this child, that should be no bond. There should be no bond for putting your children in dangerous positions. But she should also easily get just as much time as he does, if not more time in jail. But I hope that Oklahoma steps up if they really believe that, no child left behind, and they believe in, putting children first and having strong laws against people who commit crimes against children. Then I'm looking forward to the final verdict on both of them regarding this 12-year-old girl. And Lord knows, I don't know what a 12-year-old girl is going to do about being a mother. She ain't even had time to be a little girl. She has not even had time to be a teenager. Pray for that baby's soul. I don't know what she's going to do. But I'm DJ Just Jay, and I thank y'all for listening with an open mind, an open heart. I know I say a lot of things that people may or may not understand, but understand this. Babies' lives matter, and we put the children first here at the AFC. And I hope that we get full justice against them. From my heart to yours, I love you all. Thank y'all so much for listening, and we appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Peace.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello, listeners. Come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential, handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-sized masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.
Check out this wonderful organization that I'm proud to be a part of. It's called Bags for Kids, BAGS4KIDS.org. And check out their website. They really help a lot of kids in foster care, giving them a permanent piece of luggage and also a lot of items that they might need so that they feel that they belong, which they do. So go to the website, bags4kids.org. So go for it. It's a great place, and they're doing great work.
Exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Designs. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else.